not be abusive, threatening, or used with violence. Rule 6, specify the nature of the remarks. Rule 7, speakers who have previously spoken on a subject of public comment shall not be allowed to readdress the board during the same public comment period. Rule 8, specific questions should be resolved prior to the meeting by contacting the superintendent or the appropriate staff member. Rule 9, anyone who would like to present a PowerPoint presentation for public comment has to present the presentation 24 hours in advance for review by the staff for appropriateness. Rule 10, all questions shall be directed to the chairman, who will, at his discretion, solicit the response from the appropriate staff member.
Okay, thank you. We have nobody that signed up, so you want to wait and move forward with the presentation? And if anybody shows up, you allow them to speak.
Good evening. So the beginning of this presentation, I formatted it exactly like the one that was formatted in the spring when we had approved this the first time. It's a different color than it is on mine. Sorry about all the red. I tried to go in the green. Mine is not red, so. Okay. So we did this last April when we finally approved it all. However, we were going to appropriate it in FY27 because that's when most of the project money was going to be spent. And at the same time, or FY26, we also wanted to wait and get whatever it was from FY25. So we were waiting on the audit to do this all at one time rather than ask the county to do two public hearings. So the 29,698, 361, that's the final amount that is as of the June 30th, 2025 audit. We requested this number in January 26th because the audit was completed in the December-January timeframe. This amount includes, which is different than last time, this amount includes the $2.5 million from the county to go towards the Accomack primary school renovation. The fact that it's as of June 30th, 2025 affects some of the carry forward numbers that you're going to see tonight. The reason being that there were some projects that were begun prior to June 30th of 2025, so I can no longer use those amounts in the numbers I'm putting up here tonight because those amounts were already taken into account to come up with the figure on the top. So projects that have an asterisk, I have a little column on the right, so if they have an asterisk, that means that they had funds spent prior to June 30th of 25 that aren't included tonight, and if they have a number sign, that means that they've been completed. I've also put some pictures in this because I know that you all are very familiar with how Accomack Primary is going to look. But this is also designed for the Board of Supervisors where we'll be going tomorrow night, and I don't know how much they have seen some of this data. So I've tried to put some pictures in because I think that is a particularly stunning picture, actually. So the original budget was $10 million. As of June 30th, we had not started the contract with TST, so that's the entire TST contract, the $9.284 million. The remaining architect and engineering fees as of June 30th are just $79 because the bulk of them hit prior to June 30th. The items that remain after that are items that have come up since we have started work on Accomack Primary. And these are Mr. Bennett's estimates of what we may need for these potential future change orders. So that's where these come from. He can address any of them if you have any specific questions because I just get this data from him. The next slide, that is Nandua at the top and Punkatig in the middle. Those are the full amount of the construction contracts for those two auxiliary gyms. because they did not start construction until after June 30th, 2025. And those other amounts are the remaining amounts that are owed to Via Architects, who is the architect and engineering firm for both of these projects. Oh, I took the T over. So these are from, like I said, the last spring report where we had put all of the capital improvement plan for FY26 in there, and these are the numbers. So if you look at the storage operations building, and then the architect and engineering fee to that, that was originally put in at $500,000, but Mr. Bennett has had quite a few discussions with engineers, and that is an updated number. We think we can get the architectural and engineering fee at 80, and the actual storage operation building has gone up to 750. The next three items were all begun prior to June 30th, so those dollar amounts are less than what you see in your spring report. Boiler replacement in Andover High School, sidewalks, and the upgrade replaced the fire alarm controls at Arcadia High School. All of this came from your spring report. None of this is new, except for some adjusted figures. One-time purchases from budget requests, so oftentimes what we do is we look at budget request items that did not make it into the budget, and we picked these a year ago. So you see we've made some progress on these. We still have some work to go. Tag books, the purchase orders are out on them. Acoustic panels for the gym at Chincoteague, I think that work has begun. But this is an update to what we put in the spring presentation. Other considerations, this came from last spring as well. And the big thing that happened was a retention and sign-on bonus. We originally had that at about 1.8 million. And if you remember, the General Assembly came in and said we could give a retention bonus, but it had to be given prior to June 1st. So all of that money for a retention bonus happened prior to June 30th. So what you see, the little $31,000 there, those were for sign-on bonuses that can't happen after June 30th. Chincoteague Elementary School gym construction, Mr. Bennett added, I believe it's 10%. To the existing cost, so we have determined that we own the plans for the Punkatig gym, and we plan on using those same plans for the Chincoteague gym. So we're hoping, we already have a quote on the architectural and engineering fees, and we added 10% to the cost of the Punkatig gym to come up with what the Chincoteague gym is estimated to cost. All in Virginia, that amount closes June 30th, 2026, and those are the remaining funds that will be spent in this final year of that program to close out that grant. The bulk of those funds have been spent not just on attendance incentives, but also for Chromebooks and for, well, we don't call them smart boards anymore, we call them smart panels. So that every classroom by the time we finish will have the brand new smart panel. These items were added last spring as well. The condensing water line at Arcadia High School, that estimate has gone up from 400 to 640. Associated ceiling repair with doing this work at Arcadia. And those last two projects were on there last spring as well. The final project is complete, and that is the final number. So the board approved to finance the AAEC with carry forward funds. And if you've ridden by it, you see it does look a lot better than it did look. That's the best picture I got. So that's the building purchase, and these are estimates as well. Mold remediation, HVAC systems, that is the high-end estimate on HVAC system. That's if nothing works as it's hoped to. Well and septic, we're going on the high option of that too, whether the commercial as the high end, and then demo and interior remodels, carpet replacement, and we have to take the trees down that are over the septic drain field, which is kind of like the area between the bank, I believe, and Kennedy. So we also, as we said in our budget report, that we did not put any capital improvement items in for FY27 because we were going to put them up here and have them spent with carry forward funds. So these items were listed in Mr. Bennett's presentation. I believe it was around the fall of the year through December, October, November timeframe. And these were the items slated for FY '27. So we've added that. That's new. The bank building, the alternative education center, and this are new from your previous presentation. These are one-time purchases that we went through the budget requests from all of the schools and all of the departments to see what we could put in this because they're one-time funds. And we took these from all of the multiple budget requests that we received. And the bottom is cut off of that, but that total is about 2.43 million. And you see there's a lot of HVAC work in there. They're all safety for parking lot lighting. These are all items that were included in one of the budget requests that we received when we were requested budget requests in November and December of '25. These are additional requests made by facilities, and the science textbook is by instruction. You see that we still have the history textbook. That was on your spring carry forward list because we don't have those lists from the state yet. So the science textbook adoption is expected to be made and published by the state, and we wanted to include funds to purchase that as well. And there's the remaining smart panels. So when we finish with this, every instructional classroom will have the state-of-the-art smart panels. There's a summary of all the previous slides. So back through added items, spring of 2025, none of those are new. They were all seen by this board and approved in the spring. Some of the amounts may have been adjusted. And then starting with the Accomack Alternative Education Center, which was approved also by this board. But the items after that, capital improvement plan, you saw that at the end of '25, and then there are the new items and the one-time purchases. Because I think this board has asked before, do you comb through the budget requests and see items that could be completed? So some of these were requested by schools, some of these are requested by department heads. So that is the total, which equals the total of the amount of the hearing.
To the penny?
I'm sorry?
To the penny?
To the penny. A little bit of rounding in the LED lighting, and then, but yes, to the penny.
Any board members have any questions, comments?
Mr. Chair,
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say thanks for answering the questions that I did have earlier.
So this is the public hearing, and tonight, our timeline was accelerated because the Board of Supervisors would like us to present this to them tomorrow night. So that's why the accelerated timeline.
Okay. Has anybody come in recently that would like to speak on the public hearing? Well, we've advertised at 6:30, so I guess we need to wait until 6:30, so just sit and wait. Does anybody miss any good jokes?
More lighting is rented from A&N. Are those the three schools?
And Accomack and Shanty.
Mhm.
I mean, elementary.
So when we procured those schools, we leased the lighting from A&N. Those are the three new schools that were in the, Mr. Schwalbert can probably tell you about that too. Those were the three new schools that were in the elementary program, and we leased those lights from A&N. We do not own them.
I just said so much when we leave here, it's a little dark.
So we went through a bit for a while on Metonkin, getting them to get them repaired, and they had to put in a new underground service for that. So this school tended to lag behind the other schools on getting that repaired because to get that fixed was a bigger job than just fixing a light pole. They had to run them underground service.
So when do you think that may be completed?
It has been completed. So what we have out here now should all be working, and that's as good as it gets unless you want us to add additional lighting.
Well, that'll be up to the schools.
And like I said, it's Chickatee Elementary, Accomack, the 3 new elementary buildings
Okay.
are all leased.
Thank you.
So public comment is on the podium.
Guess we'll go to our meeting. Let's go ahead and stand for the pledge of allegiance, and after that, we'll go into final. Pledge allegiance. Okay. Would you head and roll call, please?
Mr. Spidel,
Present.
Dr. Johnson. Here. Mr. Neal,
Here.
Ms. Handy. Here. Mr. Whippert,
Here.
Ms. Turner. Here. Ms. Bowman. Here. Mr. White,
Here.
Mr. Taylor,
Present.
Dr. Miller.
Present.
Okay. Can I get a approval for tonight's agenda?
I make the motion to approve tonight's agenda.
Okay, we have a motion for the agenda and a second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, agenda's approved. Okay, we have public comment. Did anybody sign up for public comment? Okay. So we move on to 5.01, Employee of the Month, February. Dr. Miller?
Yes, I'd like to ask Ms. Payne to come up. You have to know how guilty I feel walking up here right now, because getting my Employee of the Month here has been quite entertaining. So, I'm sorry, the first thing is that I lied to you. She was very passionate about science, and I said, I really need your help tonight. We need to come talk about science fair and what an amazing job we're doing at Wednesday, which we are. But let me tell you about Miss Erica Blaine. Miss Blaine goes above and beyond to create active hands-on learning experiences that truly bring lessons to life. From engaging interactive vocabulary activities to creative projects that get every student involved. She makes learning meaningful and fun. She doesn't just teach lessons, she creates experiences. Whether she's dressing up like Taylor Swift or a last-minute email going out about wanting a costume for a magician to spark excitement about fossil fuels, or even covering herself in fake tattoos as a reward to celebrate her students' achievements, Miss Blaine goes the extra mile to make sure her classroom is a place where students are excited to learn every single day. Thank you, Miss Blaine, for your creativity, energy, and dedication to your students. We are so lucky to have you. So, we present very much appreciate you. Oh, sorry, I lied to you.
No, that was a good one.
She have a speech prepared? Did you tell her about the speech?
Oh, sorry. I just talk all about science fair. So no, I appreciate this so much. If you know me, I've been wanting to do science and accounting for at least 3 years, so I really love that I've done it this year, and Ms. Payne has supported me so much through that, so thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yes, your parents cake.
Ms. Payne, we're gonna do a couple of little boards right here, and then we want to picture you before she leaves.
Oh, okay. I will tell her.
Or otherwise, they won't be having this. Okay, 5.02, iPads.
Good evening. So tonight we are here to recognize someone that's on our HR team. Last year our scores for iPal was 75%, and this year when we submitted it, our first score was 91, and then when it reopened in January, we submitted for a wonderful 92%. So we are truly, truly thankful for our licensing specialists who helps monitor our retired teachers, our new teachers, and that is none other than Julie Hammond. And I'm excited. So thank you.
I'm going to expand on that just a minute. So our iPals report has to do with the amount of teachers that we have teaching in their content area where they're licensed. So that means that last year we had 78% teaching in their content area, this year we have 92%. So that goes a long ways towards our academic achievement for our students. And so that will be our one of 5 in the state that were recognized for being in the 90s for that particular rating.
5.03, beyond responsibility.
My turn. And it's not gonna cost you any money tonight, that's a good thing. Paul Bloxham. Yeah, I lied to Paul too. Well, actually, Beth lied to Paul, but anyway. Paul's dedication to Accomack County Public Schools is beyond measure. His knowledge of the facilities is unmatched, and his leadership within the facilities department is exceptional. Every day, Paul brings a can-do attitude to work, and that attitude extends well beyond the hours of 7:30 to 4. There are many late nights and early mornings that Paul is on site dealing with issues, be it a boiler failure, a lot of them lately, but an electrical plumbing issue. Paul is there working towards a solution. Paul's dedication to excellence influenced all those around him to do better. And this leads to an entire department that takes pride in what they do. It's this type of positive impact that Paul has on the team. His attention to detail and the quality of his work consistently inspires those around him to aim higher. When it comes to reliability, Paul's name is at the top of the list. No matter the problem, Paul will be there to ensure that it's resolved. There have been many times Paul's resourcefulness in finding a solution has meant that students didn't have to miss a day of school. But of greater importance, that there have been times where Paul's resourcefulness addressed a problem and nobody even knew about it. And that's pretty special. We hear it often when somebody said to go above and beyond. Paul is a true example of someone that goes above and beyond for Accomack County Schools daily. Paul's hard work, perseverance, and reliability are truly commendable, and it's been an honor working with him for 5 years. He's made me successful in what I do, and I couldn't have done any of it without him.
All right, next up is, it is School Board Appreciation Month this month, and so we, did up little certificates for each of the school board members. We just want to, extend our appreciation for all that you guys do. You know that a lot of times the positives are a little bit softer than the, negatives, so we appreciate you listening, to everybody, as the school employees as well as the public. So thank you for everything that you do, and, we appreciate you.
School Board Appreciation Week. So we have two that we'd like to present tonight. One to Danielle Clark. She's our new school board clerk and has done really an awesome job, especially with the website and what things that we need. And so Danielle, we want to thank you so much. And also Greta Smith. You want to do picture time with everybody? What's reward? Miss Light.
Oh, yes.
Paul, would you get in here too? Paul? All our recognitions.
Wait, are you doing it with her?
Science experience.
Can we see everybody? Hold on, would it be better if we got on the stairs? Can you see everybody, or do you want us on the stairs?
If you can see the camera, it can
Find
see
your
you.
window. I was missing.
And we'll take a couple different angle ones, and we'll let Danielle do her magic. That slide. You guys are a wonderful photogenic group. And just turn to you. We'll make sure to slide over a little bit. There you go. And smile. Thank you, guys.
Again, thank you everybody for coming tonight, participating, and your teachers, everybody, thank you so much. Thank you for all the work that you're doing for Accomack County. Okay, 6.01 approval of minutes for the 1/2026 and the 2/5/2026 meetings. Can I get a motion on that, please?
I make a motion, Mr. Chair, to approve minutes for 1/20/2026 and 2/5/2026 meetings.
Okay, we have a motion for the meeting minutes of those dates and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, motion approved. Approval of vouchers, can I get a motion on that, please?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the vouchers.
Second. Okay, a motion and a second for the vouchers, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Okay, presentations. First up, Shindig Town Manager, referencing property sale.
Good evening. Let me start by thanking you all for the opportunity to put this on the agenda. We really appreciate it. For decades, the North Accomack Little League played its games on the ball field located at the former elementary school on Church Street in Chincoteague. As the league continued to grow in the early 1990s, it became clear that this historic field could no longer accommodate the needs of the program, and the league began searching for a new location that would allow for future expansion. In 1997, as construction of the new elementary school on Hallie Smith Drive was underway, and the former elementary school on Church Street was being phased out, the North Accomack Little League approached the school board with a request. The league asked for permission to develop ball fields on a parcel of unused school property located off Depot Road. This location proved to be ideal. It was immediately adjacent to the new elementary school and the town of Chincoteague Municipal Complex, and it provided sufficient space for multiple fields as well as access to paved parking on the town's adjacent municipal property. A lease between the Accomack County Schools and North Accomack Little League was prepared at that time by the school board's attorney, Mr. John Colson. Initially, 2 fields were constructed, one for boys baseball and one for girls softball. Over the years that followed, the Chincoteague community came together to support the facility through donations and volunteer efforts, resulting in significant improvements to the complex. In 2007, the league constructed a junior league field and entered into a memorandum of understanding with Accomack County Public Schools to allow shared use of the Chincoteague combined middle school baseball team. At that time, ACPS funded and constructed a backstop and sideline fencing. The league later expanded that field to include a home run fence, dugouts, and additional support facilities. Today, the complex has grown to include multiple fields serving various age groups, including a junior league, minor league, and t-ball fields. The site now also includes a concession stand with public restrooms and storage, as well as field lighting on the primary baseball and softball fields. Most recently, in 2025, ACPS granted permission for the construction of a training building, which is now nearing completion. The North Accomack Little League remains an extremely active organization. Through annual fundraising efforts, the league continues to support equipment purchases, uniforms, and ongoing facility maintenance, helping to keep the participation fees affordable for families. Over the past 5 years, the league has averaged nearly 300 participants annually, serving children between the ages of 4 and 14 from throughout northern Accomack County. The town of Chincoteague has been a proud sponsor of this effort since its relocation to the fields that are currently at the current location. Over time, this complex has become a significant community asset. During the spring, early summer, and fall seasons, the facility is regularly filled with children participating in games and practices, accompanied by families and community members who gather to support them. In order to further strengthen this partnership and ensure the long-term health and sustainability of this important facility, the town of Chincoteague respectfully requests that the Accomack County School Board declare the portion of property containing North Accomack Little League facilities as surplus. This action would allow the town to request the Accomack County Board of Supervisors transfer ownership of the property to the town. Should the Board of Supervisors concur, the town would assume responsibility for the long-term maintenance and improvement of the facility and would dedicate the property to the youth recreational use for the benefit of the island and the citizens of Accomack County in perpetuity. Most important to this effort, the property would remain available for use by Accomack County Public School students and organizations. And arrangement that we suggest would be formalized through a memorandum of understanding between ACPS and the town of Chincoteague. The parcel that we're requesting has been intentionally limited to the area containing just the existing facility so as not to interfere with any future expansion plans the school board may have for the neighboring Chincoteague Elementary School. On behalf of the town of Chincoteague and the many children and families who benefit from this facility, I appreciate the effort or the opportunity to broach this subject with you tonight, and I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have. There is a rendition of what we would propose on the screen there. I'll answer any questions you have concerning that.
Any members? So, you're requesting then for us to go ahead and just give you or give the town the property?
The property, and a little bit more extensive history on this, and as the old fields were becoming obsolete, this property, the tank complex had just been built in 1996, and the school board, there was a couple of gentlemen who had an eye on this property. It was very actually cleared at the time. There was nothing on it. I happened to be walking in the town office one day, and on a day off from the schools, I might add. I'm sorry, not quite then, but I met Mr. Jerry Tracy coming out of the town office, who happened to be the Corps of Engineers representative at the time, and we walked over and took a look at it. A week later, we had a letter from the Corps of Engineers saying they had no objection to us building on that property. If you'll notice, the three property lines, the bottom left and right property line, coincide with existing property lines right now for the school property. The top three lines, the one on the top left conforms or is coincident with a ditch that's dug along that, in that property. And that is the ditch that Jerry Tracy identified, to which on the south half were no wetlands, and on the north half there were some wetlands, which is why he allowed us to build on that parcel of property. The right top property line is parallel with the right field, or I should say the first base line of the junior league field, at about 50 feet away, just far enough to encompass a couple sets of bleachers and that entire field. And then the top line on this property connects the other two. So we've tried to keep the parcel of property that we're requesting as minimal as possible. I do understand, especially from tonight, that you would be proposing a new gym for Shinty Elementary School, and we certainly wouldn't want to take away any property that was planned for that. The town would absorb the cost of the survey to lay out this parcel, and also to prepare a deed for the parcel, which would be presented to the Board of Supervisors if the school system saw fit to surplus that piece of property.
And to say, in the future, the ball fields would ever go away, would that go back to us then? Would that come back to us?
Well, we would be proposing to give the property to the town. The town would dedicate that property for use as youth recreation, not just for island residents, of course, but for all of Accomack County. It is in the hands of Accomack County right now, and we would propose it be used for that purpose in perpetuity. If for some reason baseball no longer became a thing in this country, I suppose we could convert it to soccer fields or anything else, but if we dedicated it to the use of recreation for students, that's what it would continue to be. The memorandum of understanding which we would have prepared would be an agreement between the town of Chincoteague and the county school system, so that it would be used by the schools, students, and their organizations in perpetuity, or for as long as the ACPS and the town of Chincoteague elected to renew the memorandum.
Any questions, anybody?
I got a question. So,
Yeah.
this was the land that was donated by Alan Milton Smith.
Correct.
And so the line that runs this way was the original line for that.
The line at the bottom left, the long straight line, is listed as one of the existing property lines, is the current delineation between the town of Chincoteague and Accomack County School property.
Does that run all the way, I'm sorry,
Go ahead.
does that run all the way to Depot?
It does not run all the way to Depot. I believe it runs for a certain distance, and then it intersects some county property, which they already own, which is the collection center.
Dr. Miller?
So if I'm understanding this correctly, currently Accomack County owns the land?
Yes, ma'am. We
And
have.
there is a referendum of understanding between us and the town for its use?
There is the Little League, the North, it's not between the town right now. Right now, North Accomack Little League has a lease with Accomack County Public Schools to use this field, but it is the property of Accomack County Schools.
Okay, so what would be the benefit of the city owning, like, why would we switch that arrangement and not just keep the referendum we have?
The town of Chincoteague would be a more stable organization than necessarily North Accomack Little League. By stable, I mean it's a political subdivision as opposed to a nonprofit organization.
Thank you, Dr. Morales. I'll be my next question, so.
I might add that we could also, the town would also be, as I stated in my statement, would also do a certain amount of maintenance and upkeep on that property, which would assist North Accomack Little League in maintaining their ball fields.
So would that include cutting the grass?
That's something we work out with the Little League right now. They cut it and they have a volunteer that cuts it out of the league, if I'm not mistaken. Again, that was something we'd make out with the Little, we would work out with the Little League.
Okay. That's all that.
Anybody else?
I don't know about this strange question, but as I see right now, you don't have much line between that and the convention center. And just for say, if we do give it, and they all of a sudden say, well, let's say baseball goes away, and they say, well, we need this property to move out, would that be allowed or not allowed?
I'm sorry, would what be allowed?
Them to expand the recreation building?
The recreation, no, if we dedicate the property to, and it can even be written in the deed, but if we dedicate the property to youth recreation, that's what it'll be, youth recreation. It may not always be Little League, we would hope that it would be, but if for some reason Little League failed, or, and as has happened up and down the Eastern Shore when I was a kid, there was a Little League in Parsley, there was a Little League in Wallace, there were many Little Leagues, and now there's only a few left. So if that's local Little League would fail, we certainly hope that's not the case, but if it did, the town could rededicate the property to soccer fields or something else for the youth.
I guess that's the concern is what would happen if that went away and all of a sudden something built there. And I know we don't have a fall, we can't foresee the future, but Chincoteague does have some prime real estate, so.
Plus it's close to a school, that's the main thing.
Yeah. Okay, well, we'll have to discuss this, and I mean, it's not an action item, so we won't be voting on it tonight.
Sure.
I guess we can discuss it and go from there.
Any questions you have, I'm glad to answer. Thank you.
Any more, Jason?
I have one more. So hypothetically, let's say that Little League folded, so could it be in the agreement that it would remain a green space and not turn into like a building?
It could absolutely be an agreement. I mean, if we're going to dedicate this to the youth of the county in perpetuity, then it would be used for the youth of the county. You can, we have some land currently that's donated to the town in which the deed states that it would never have any buildings on it, and that would continue to be open space. And we have the property, we own the property now, and that's what it will continue to be. It's written in the deed.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right. 7.02, this committee update. Mr. Neal?
The discipline committee met on Monday, February 9th, consisted of Ms. Turner, Mr. Whippert, and myself. We heard 4 cases. All cases were decided upon unanimously between the 3 of us and concluded.
Finance committee, it's me. So we met on February 10th here in Tonkin. The federal programs were reviewed. All federal grants had been approved at that time, with the exception of the Title I and Title IV, which have both been approved since then. With these approvals in place, reimbursements can be caught up to date. The expenditures and revenues were reviewed for the operating fund and the state grant fund. This is the first year that the ACPS has had an ERP system that is capable of encumbering remaining salaries for the fiscal year. Total anticipated expenditures were compared to budgeted amounts. Expenditures appear to be on track, and budget transfers between major categories should occur in July and August, as in the past. Approval and the appropriation of the carried forward funds that we discussed tonight will be added to the budgeted column once appropriated, and this is the most important for the analysis purposes, as money is being expended towards carried forward projects. That's it. I don't think we had a policy committee meeting, so we will skip to the human resources update.
The human resources update is attached. If there are any questions, Dr. Garrison will be happy to answer those.
Not much change since the last. Okay, school board memberships. I know Mr. White wanted to have this discussed, so I'll let you have the floor, sir.
Yes, sir. This board is members of VSBA, which is the Virginia School Board Association, and all of us are members of that board. I know there's other organizations out there, and I feel if you want to be part of that organization, you should pay for it yourself. I don't see the money from Accomack County Public Schools go to another organization when it's not really supporting this school. So I'm just saying everybody wants, it's your choice. But I just feel Accomack County should only pay for the membership that we are a part of. And that's why I just wanted to discuss that issue.
Well, I guess the way I look at it, I did some research and I know there are some other school divisions that have been part of more than this one, the SBA being the main one, but there are some other ones. And in some ways, I think it's good to have different perspectives too. So sometimes I think maybe another organization could offer some other ideas or perspectives. So in my opinion, I don't foresee us, or don't have a problem with other members that may want to be part of another one. As long as I think there's a reasonable amount. I know what we pay for the School Board Association. That's kind of a fairly high one, but I think some of the other ones are fairly reasonable. There's not that much, I don't think. But I don't have a problem with it, but I don't think any other board members would like to discuss it, or Dr. Johnson?
I think, I agree with Mr. White. When I look at our existing policies, I don't know the percentage, but a good portion of them indeed are based, we even use the copyright from the Virginia School Board Association. It is a fully servicing organization, and if an individual, if it's me, wants to explore another association, I too think that that should be at that person's expense. We're a board of 9, and the history of this organization is that that is the association that we're affiliated with. For me, it's not about the money, it's about the principle. If I go out here and find a number of conferences and such that I think might, as one individual, benefit the board, I wouldn't expect Accomack County Public Schools to bear that expense when we have an entity, an organization that is already funded to guide us. There haven't been any stated concerns, nothing of that nature. So again, I would end by repeating myself that I think that if I or anyone else on the board wants to be a member of another association in particular, that should be at his or her expense, as a matter of principle.
Yeah.
What, I understand, because professional organizations I've been members of, multiple ones already the same career path, and they all give you different ideas. And instead of individualizing ourselves, what if, and again, I don't know what the cost is, that's not up for discussion right now, I don't think. If all 9 of us became members, then we could give you points from 2 different sides, or even 3, if the cost isn't too effective. I mean, as far as one person doing it and not the other, I get there's personal preferences. I've done that before as well. But if there's another organization out, there's nothing wrong with having 2 viewpoints. But we don't have to agree with one organization. We might not agree with either organization. But we come together, we discuss it, and we
know I've spoken, so I'll wait.
Anybody? Okay, Dr. Johnson?
I think that, Mr. Neal raises some, good points. I would wonder, and I don't wanna be argumentative, where would we as a board draw the line? Let's say I identify a religious school board association, right? And then because ideas are ideas, I just wonder hypothetically how this board would feel about me coming in, right? And try to promote, religious. That there's a lot of value in diversity of thought, and I just wanted to add, as I listen, to my colleague, that, at some point we have to draw a line, particularly when we consider that our code of ethics puts us in a position where once we've done a thing and we've joined the Virginia School Board Association, then that's what we abide by, right? That's all.
I understand. Mr. Wade.
And my thing is, I got nothing wrong with anybody joining an organization. It's just, come to the board and ask. Don't just arbitrarily just say, give me this organization. It's a board of 9. At least ask. You never know. We may say yes, we may say no, but it's just, like I said, the principle, just letting all the board members know. I mean, that's all I'm asking. So, I mean, like I say, I agree with both speakers, and like I say, it's yes, I feel everybody should go on one accord. And like I say, we're trying to do better, so I just hope that we can do that, keep doing it. Thank you.
All right, anybody else? All right. Overnight field trip request.
You have an overnight field trip request going to Virginia Beach for the FCCLA, SLRC, and STAR event occurring in April. So this is an information item and then action item in March.
So we can look over that, everybody, and then in March we will vote on it.
And who put the request in? The school?
The supervisor, along with the school, put in the request. I believe this is Kazimierski.
The ones in action items are from last month. All right, anybody has any questions? No? Okay. Transportation handbook, 7.08.
Yeah, there you will see the transportation handbook. Mr. Reader and his team have went through and updated that. We have had it reviewed by legal, so it is there for you to review this month. It'll be up for action next month.
Any questions right now? All right, that's a good one. Instructional update.
The next is an instructional update. The first slide up are our mid-year SOL results. So at the high school and some of the middle schools, we did some students taking early SOL tests. Again, this is not the entire student body, but maybe a third to a quarter of students who tested. But again, you can see the performance relative to how they did at the end of year, so cumulatively last year, to get an idea of where we're at the midpoint. And then at elementary and middle school, we did our second quarter benchmarks. This shows performance by school compared to how they did in the first quarter. You'll notice that there's improvement in science, math, and history in all subjects. Reading, we did notice a dip on the second quarter reading benchmark, but that was pretty consistent across the division, so it was a more challenging second quarter reading benchmark, but the rest of the subjects showed positive growth. As a reminder, these are quarter specific, so they are not cumulative, so it's showing the level our students mastered to 70% the material during that quarter, but positive growth across.
So you're saying, I'm gonna interrupt you, but so that reading portion was just a little more strict or a little harder.
So what happens is a lot of the CIP in their pacing has put the harder standards at the front of the year. And they do that because that gives the entire year to spiral review that information. So the information that is tested on each benchmark is only the information from that quarter. Does that make sense?
Thank you. Is that everything?
Yeah, additionally, we have the annual sped report that is presented to the board each year for review. It is compiled and submitted to the state, so this is an information item for you guys to be aware this is, again, something done annually.
This will be clear every year. Okay. Any questions on any of these two? All right, next up is summer hours.
Okay, we're gonna get this out of the way early this year. I know this can be a point of contention, so this is the proposal for the 4-day work week in the summer. I think it has been done for the last few years anyways. And so that would be the 7 to 5:30, 4-day work week for summer hours.
One question I have, if an employee doesn't want to do the summer hours, can they just stick to the normal, regular hours? Instead of having this kind of a long day?
Well, that's up to the board. If you want to give them a choice between working either of those, you can. Generally, I would say that it is better for people to work the same hours in the spirit of collaboration. If we're working together trying to get ready for the next school year, it's hard to do that when you have people missing from the team.
I just had a few people that were a little, they're older and they were just saying that those longer hours just kind of wreak havoc on them. And,
Like I said, we can do it either way. That's a board decision.
are we voting on this later tonight?
Yep, that'll be next month.
So maybe the rest of the board members can reach out to some people, let's see if I can think of that way, maybe not, but it's just kind of.
I did want to get it out of the way early, just so that people have time. That is the summertime, and everybody deserves a break sometimes. And so I want people to have time to make some plans if they choose to do so.
Sure.
So aren't schools closed on Friday? Closed?
This coming?
Yes, in the summer, in the
Oh,
summer.
in the summer?
Are the buildings closed or not?
They will be if we're on a 4-day work week. Mhm.
So I don't know how somebody would work 5 8-hour days if their building is locked.
They can get in, they can access their building. It would just be the offices that would be closed.
I guess that will be up to the department head if they think that they will be more
So
efficient.
if we adopt this, offices will be open, from 7 to 5:30,
I'm saying,
Monday through Thursday.
if somebody wanted, if you had a few people that didn't want to work this, and we did that, and we decide to approve this, I guess that would be up to the department heads, I guess, or to the.
Well, if, what you're talking about sounds like an individual choice, and the people who work in a specific building, their badges will get them in
Okay.
if they choose to work the Fridays.
Not to say we will do this, it's just, I know some people have came to me and asked me about, those long hours. It's a little harder on them, working.
And they're always welcome to take a vacation day or on Friday if they didn't.
Okay. Mr. White?
Since you said as a few people that's complaining, why don't we just send out a simple survey? Do you want to work 10 hours this summer, or you want to work 5 days of 8? And see how many will respond with 5 to the 8. And bring that to us, to the board, that way we'll know what the school consensus is. If the lot said we want 8 to 5, 8 to 3, we'll do that, but let's get a consensus of what everybody, employees, not the students, just employees, have that back to us. So just get back to us and just let us see what they say.
Okay, we'll send it out to the 11 and 12 month.
What you like to do?
Mr. Chair.
Jesse, did you want to say something, Jesse? Okay. Yes, Dr. Johnson.
Yeah, I just want to weigh in with, it's a slight concern, it isn't something that I feel strongly about, but I do think it bears mentioning that just as when we adjust, as we have in years past to the summer schedule, when we have the regular schedule, if we start flexing because one or two people, no disrespect intended, don't like that style that's approved, then we are potentially setting ourselves up for having to accommodate people who don't want to work because it's Monday and things of that nature. So sometimes our best intent can come to bite us. I think, I just wanted to offer that because again, once we start a practice, generally as when an organization starts a practice, it almost becomes a rule.
And I was thinking more so this flex hours, because it is changing from the normal schedule. But I do like Mr. White's idea, this whole, and this, I mean, if we only had a couple, then maybe we won't do it at all, but if we do have a good amount, offer that anyway.
We'll get it done.
Great, thank you.
So we won't get the results back, is that, will that give you enough time, or we won't be able to decide on that until?
We can get that result or we can, or the result. We'll send that survey out tomorrow, and we'll leave it open for a week, and so I'll be able to get those results to you.
Perfect, thank you so much. Okay, the budget. The B word. Hello again.
Okay, I'm back. So as we presented last time, we knew that we had the total dollar amount, that we could not go above on that. We also knew that we would, if somebody wanted to make an addition, there would have to be a corresponding subtraction because that dollar amount is the limit. Since the last meeting, the county has upped their additional money to us from $550,000 of additional funds to $632,000 actually. So that means the budget that we presented at the last meeting, we are now $1,075,242 short of having revenues to support that. But the General Assembly has a budget and we'll see what they do. So we would like to have this approved tonight and however you approve it because we present it tomorrow. And we'd like to invite anybody who would like to come.
Could you repeat that number one night?
How much we're short or how much we're getting?
Short.
$1,075,242. If you remember, we were short last year as well, and then the General Assembly changed and gave us more money, and we were able to fund everything that's in it. So we always go at this point that we're short because we're never sure what's going to happen.
So at this time then, if we can remove things, or anybody would like to remove things, correct?
We have this number, so the only reason anybody would remove something is if they want to add something.
Correct. So at this point, is anything everybody would like to switch around and add, or is everybody good with the budget that's being presented? Okay. Then I guess if we get down a little farther, I guess we'll vote on it. Okay, thank you, Ms. Owen. Okay, superintendent's report.
All right, we have been able to complete all of our continuous school support plan reviews for all of the schools. Every school has a continuous school support plan that has goals in it for the year, and so mid-year we review those goals and progress towards those goals. And so we have held all of those meetings, talked with all the principals about any adjustments they've made or are going to make for the spring semester regarding achievement and instruction. And then in conjunction with those, it was kind of the mid-year review of principal goals as well. So also been done. We did, myself and Dr. Garrison and Miss Only met with our insurance people. So we have that ball rolling to put our insurance out to bid. So that's gonna be coming up. We've got the preliminary meeting out of the way. And then, Ms. Clark did get the safety audit committee, together, and we have set up our walkthroughs for each school. And so there is a state checklist that we'll be going through each school and looking at everything for the individual schools. So that's all set up. We'll be rolling with those in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, Mr. Neal, for being part of that committee. So that's what I have for now.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, any questions or anybody? Okay, moving on. Action items. Can I get a motion for the overnight field trip request as presented from last month?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the overnight field trip request as presented.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion for the overnight field trip request and a second. Any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay. That's approved. Head Start MOU.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the Head Start MOU as presented.
Second.
Okay, we got a motion for the Head Start MOU and a second. All in favor, excuse me, any discussion? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. Can I get a motion on the ESRH dental MOU?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the ESRH dental MOU as presented.
Second.
We got a motion and a second, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, motion carries. FY 27 budget, can I get a motion?
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to approve the FY 27 budget as presented.
Second.
Got a motion for the FY 27 budget and a second, any discussion? Okay. Oh,
Mr. Chairman, we would like to ask that, we would like to amend the agenda to add approval of the carry forward plan, if that would be okay.
so do we going to need to remove this motion or just?
I finish this one first. We gotta finish this one first.
Finish the vote.
Yes. Okay, so we have a motion and a second for the FYI budget. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, I'm gonna get a motion on the carryover funds.
Mr. Chair, I make a motion to accept the carryover fund as presented.
Second.
Okay, so we have a motion for the carryover funds and a second, any discussion? Okay, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carries for the carryover funds. All right, closed meeting, can I get a motion for doing closed meeting, please?
The board should convey in closed session pursuant to the following sections of the Code of Virginia. 2.2-3711, subsection A1, for discussion and consideration of personnel matters, including approval of personnel, professional appointments, classified appointments, status changes, professional and classified resignations, volunteer coaches, and substitute appointments for action. 2.2-3711, subsection A1, for discussion and consideration of the superintendent's evaluation.
Okay, so we are going to closed session, we have a second, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Okay, we're in closed session.